Thank you. Good morning. Morning. Did you enjoy the party last night? Did you enjoy the party last night? All right, welcome, welcome. And you guys are awesome because you are here today. And today I would like to talk to you about unlock business growth with creative leadership, a non-advertising perspective. Now, I'm guessing you are expecting me to talk about creative leadership today, but I'm afraid I have to disappoint you, at least for now, because I want to share with you a personal story that happens to me when I was about 10 years ago. Right? Let me bring you back to the past. About 35 years ago, when I was a primary school kid in Hong Kong, I was born and grew up in Hong Kong, but now I'm based in Singapore. Right? When I was in the primary school, I loved mathematics, and I like to learn mathematics. I like to memorize the multiplication table, and I remember that's my first encounter of creativity. Happened in this math class. I still remember my teacher is called Mr. Out. He is a very kind gentleman, and I love his lesson. And he asked us these questions about hard-boiled egg. The question said, it takes 9 minutes to cook one hard-boiled egg. How many minutes it takes to cook 7 hard-boiled eggs? What's the answer? Oh, let me repeat the question. It takes 9 minutes to cook one hard-boiled egg. We are going to cook 7 hard-boiled eggs. How many minutes it takes? Now, as an enthusiastic student, I immediately up my hand. I want to impress Mr. Out. I say 63 minutes. By the time I finish 63 minutes, I look at Mr. Out. His face turned pale. He said, Dickson, calm down, calm down. Thank you for your participation. But the correct answer is 9 minutes. Because we cook everything in one go, Dickson. Wow. I was speechless for almost a minute. And that was my first encounter of creativity at school. Fortunately, that's the first time I encountered creativity, and unfortunately, that's also the last time I encountered creativity at school, because during my entire school years, I was trained to memorize things, to prepare for exam, right? So that was my first encounter of creativity at school. And that hard-boiled egg incident has a very deep impact on me. It has a deep impact onto my heart as well as onto my head. And that's why if you look at my head right now, it looks like an hard-boiled egg. So education did have a big impact. And fast forward to now, a couple years ago, I decided that I want to write a book, and I want to write something about creative leadership. And that's why I published this book called Leadership for Future of Work, 9 Ways to Build Career Edge Over Robots with Human Creativity. And once again, thank you for joining today's session. So today we are going to talk a little bit about creative leadership. And this is something we are going to cover for today. And I will also share with you something called the idea pyramid, as well as something called the 3I model. So what do I do? I'm based in Singapore, so I am a consultant, facilitator, speaker, and I help organizations use creativity to drive business growth. And for me, creative leadership is about your ability to unlock your team's ideas and to help them channel the energy to future business growth. Right? That's my belief. Creative leadership is the key to future business growth. And that's why I published a book on that, and that's why I also speak at different events and conferences, try to promote the concept of creative leadership. Because I believe creative leadership is the key to future business growth. It doesn't matter which industry you are in, it is the key to future business growth. And in Asia Pacific, the way I see the market is there's a lot of people doing a lot of skills-based training. Some of these are handled by the HR department, some of this handled by the universities. And there's also some organization promoting the innovation culture for the entire workforce, right? That's all great stuff. But what I notice is there's a lack of creative-based work specifically for the leadership team. And that's the area I'm focusing on. Right? It's called the strategic ideation to business growth. And I have the privilege to work with various organizations to help them embed creative leadership. So today, I would like to share with you a little bit about what I did, how I did it, and hopefully this serves you as well. When I talk to the business leader in the region, one of the common problems they keep on telling me is, hey, I want more business growth. I want more revenue growth. But my team is not hungry. It's not creative enough. They stuck in the same old. They don't like to change. They are very comfortable staying in the past. That is a common problem. And when I talk to them in more details, I notice that this situation can be categorized in this framework of what I call the idea pyramid. Idea pyramid. It captures the idea fluency. Right? How fluent is your team in terms of working with ideas? And in this ideas pyramid model I developed, there's actually 4 levels. The first level is what I call stuck. Right? You know your team is at this level 1 stuck. Right? If you ask a team a question, and your team keep on saying that, no idea, not sure, sounds familiar? If that's the case, right, you are at this level 1. Then how about the level 2? Right? Level 2 is what I call the opaque. Opaque means your team have some kind of ideas, but a little bit shy to share. They have some sort of like original thinking, but they are not too comfortable to talk about it openly. Right? So that is level 2. And level 3 is what I call the flow. Right? You know your team is at this level 3 flow if they manage to have a lot of ideas, and in fact, they have too many ideas. Sometimes they got overwhelmed with all these ideas. They don't know what to do. Right? So that is level 3. And last but not least is what I call the level 4. Right? Level 4 is what I call thrive. Right? You know your team is at this level 4 thrive. Right? If your team managed to pick 1 or 2 ideas and go experiment it, go execute, and go test it out. Right? So that is the level 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So I would like you to think about, right, about your team. Right? If you are managing a team, you think about your team you are managing. But if you are not managing a team yet, you might be thinking about your colleague. Right? Where are they right now? Right? Are they in level 1, level 2, level 3, or level 4? Which level are they in? You may want to write down a number, right, for your team, right, for your team. Then next, I would like you to think about for yourself, what is the score you would give yourself? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? Okay, so right now you should have 2 numbers, right? 1 number is for your team. The other number is for yourself. Now, if you realize your team score is higher than your own score, you know you have some personal catch-up to do. On the other hand, if you are up there, but your team is at the bottom, then you need to do something to really help your team, right, to bring up to speed. So that is the idea pyramid, right? You should have a number right now. Now, you may be asking, hey, Dickson, then how would you do to bring someone from the level 1 to all the way up to level 4, right? How are you going to do it? So let me share with you one method that I have been using, and actually it is inside my book, right? It's what I call the 3I model. So number 1, we focus on the individual mindset. Number 2, ideas. Number 3 is what I call infrastructure. Right? So is it okay if I go into the details of all these 1, 2, 3? Is it okay? Yes. Okay, thank you. So first, about individual mindset. Oh, let me show you this picture. And can you tell me, or can you tell someone next to you, right, what is this place, right? What can this place be? Right? What is this place? What can this place be? Someone say a church. I hear some museum. What else? Well, actually, it is a data center. Data center, yes, it's a Barcelona supercomputing center, right? So it's not a church, right? It's a data center. Next, this picture, what can this be? Hotel? Coffee shop? Cafe? No, actually, it's a bank, right? It's a bank. And last one, what can this be? A boat, sailing boat, okay. No, actually, this is a co-working space. So don't be surprised, right, if your colleagues say, hey, today I'm working from here. Okay, so what's the message I would like to share with you is our mind is being programmed to accept, right, what is commonly known, right? We are accept that, oh, it is a hotel, it is a church, right? It is a boat, right? But actually, there are a lot of different possibilities. So the message I want to share with you is stop saying cannot, start saying why not, right? Stop saying cannot, start saying why not. Small shift, but it carries a big implication. So what does that mean to you? Right? So probably you may want to embed, right, the why not in your creative and your client work. If you can get your client to say why not, life will be much easier. So moving on, let me share with you about the second thing, right? It's what I call the ideas in this 3I model. When I talk about ideas, right, I mean how can you help your team, right, to generate ideas fast. And of course, there are various idea tools that you can use, right? And some of these tools you guys are probably quite familiar. But today I wanted to focus on the first one, right, which is I think the most relevant to you, right? Is what I call the combination, right? Combining A and B. Combining cherry and Coke, you have you have Pepsi, no. You have cherry Coke. Combining A, MBA graduate and casino, what will you have? You will have MBA graduate exercise over a poker table, right? Why? Because when you recruit the MBA graduate, you want to bring them into your management team. You want to see their social skills, analytical skills, and also, most importantly, right, the emotional intelligence. Right? Can they control their temper, or can they work under stress? Okay, another example. If you combine A, a printer, and B, a truck, what would you have? Can you ask someone next to you, what will you have? A, printer, B, a truck. You will have a new product called the roll printer, right? You print the pavement in one go, right? You don't need to do it one by one, okay? And another one, if you combine A, a shirt, and B, pajama, what will you have? You will have something what I call the half shirt, half pajama, the best one for you if you work from home. So you look professional on top, but you feel comfortable at the bottom. So please, right, use combination to generate more growth ideas in your team. And if you look at the MarTech industry right now, right, there's a lot of like new technologies available out there for you to explore, for your team to explore. So I would encourage you to combine A, your core offering, with B, which is like a new segment or new technology, right? So combining A, your core offering, with B, right? Something new in the market. And I always believe cross-collaboration is the key to sparking great ideas, right? So that's why I always like to talk to different industry, because by working with someone outside of that industry, right, magic will happen. Now, in the third component of this 3I model, it is what I call infrastructure. By saying infrastructure, I mean be creative in the way you do things. So what does that mean? Let me ask you a question. Let's assume, right, you are the human resources manager, right? So let's assume for 1 minute you are now in the HR, and you are going to recruit some skilled car mechanics, right? So let's assume this. You are in the HR department, and you work for an automotive company. You want to recruit skilled car mechanics. What would you do? In most cases, probably you will go advertise on those job websites, right? Recruiting skilled car mechanics, right? But for this company in Germany, the HR director actually asked the team, stop advertising. Well, then what should we do? Instead, go get some second-hand car with some problematic engine, right? So stop advertising for now, right? Maybe you can do it later, but right now, can you go out and get 100 cars with a problematic engine and then put it back to our place? Okay, so the HR team went out, get back 100 cars with a problematic engine. And then next, the HR director say, hey, print out the job ads, the recruitment ads for skilled car mechanic. Can you print it out in a big A3 paper? Can you print it out, fold it, and stuff it in those cars with a problematic engine? Then after that, they actually send all this car to all the different car repair workshops across Germany. And you know what happened next? When the car mechanics open up the car with the problematic engine, the job ads recruiting for car mechanic job right in front of the face. What's the media ROI? 100%. Can you get 100% ROI? Probably, right, if you can inject some kind of creative thinking, right? So, Volkswagen. So what does that mean? That means we should stop doing certain things, right? Stop doing things probably is more important than start doing something. So in this case, it is not about recruiting car mechanics. It is about trying to find where is the best audience fit. And if you are in the automotive marketing, you are not selling cars, right? You are selling freedom and mobility. If you are selling building materials, right, or insulation materials, you are not selling that product, right? You are selling probably is something else, right? So this is something for you to fill up. Right? So you are probably selling like maybe a peace of mind, maybe you are selling comfortability, etc., etc. So the point here I want to share with you is it is not about content, but it's about the context, right? Not about the content, but think about the context, which is the bigger picture. And for me, I also remind myself, right, I should not think in terms of the content, right? So I'm not an author, I'm not a speaker, I'm not a facilitator, but actually, I'm the growth partner to my client using creative leadership. And for some of you, probably this message may serve you, right? Stop thinking as just a creative, right? You are not just a creative. You are actually a growth partner to your clients. And I always like this quote, right? This quote probably very familiar to some of you. We sell or else. So to put things together, this is the 3I model. We start with individual mindset, ideas, infrastructure. And let me put this together in a sequential manner for you to understand a little bit better. Right? So when I work with my client, right, typically what I would do is I will understand exactly what are they struggling with. Right? Is it about coming up with new business growth idea, or is it about head-to-head tackling with the competitor, or is it about the team is not ready to change, right? So I understand the problem, and then typically we will work on the individual mindset of the team, right? And also help the team to come up with the business challenges, right? So sometimes they are afraid, right, to speak in front of the boss, right? And some of the business challenges got hidden, right? So my task is to unlock all these business challenges. Then secondly, I help the team, right, to come up with different ideas in terms of where are the growth opportunity, be it new revenue from growth, from growth segment, or new revenue from existing segment. And then lastly, we put things together into an execution plan, right? What should we stop doing? What should we start doing? What is the milestone for execution, right? So that we can achieve revenue growth. Now, it looks a simple, right, three-step process, right? But it works because I always believe simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. And let me share with you two case studies. Right? The first one, it is the Asian entity of a specialized pharma instrument company. So what they want to do is they want to drive more end-user growth, and that's why I put together something for their team in Asia Pacific, right? So that they can immediately have more than 3 million euro additional revenue, right? Which could be about 20 to 30%, right, of that particular entity. Second example, for a building materials company, right? So they are foreseeing that competition will be hitting up, more competitor will come into this market. Right? So that's why they need to install back a stronger growth engine. And we work together, and I help them to identify, right, the 7 sectors, right, that they can go into in order to drive additional revenue growth. Right? So what was the typical result? Right? Typical result is you will be able to get like about 20 to 30% revenue growth, right, by bringing your team together, and then you can actually help your team, right, drive some new business growth ideas. And of course, for you, you will be having a peace of mind. So for today, I have shared with you this 3I model, right? But this 3I model is actually part of a bigger framework, right? I call it the 9 ways to build this edge over robots, right? So if you're interested to know more, right, I have actually put up some resources. Right? So if you like, feel free to scan this QR code. Right? So I'm happy to share with you a summary of this framework. There are some additional resources for you as well. Right? So I'm going to put this QR code, and at the same time, I want to do a wrap up for today's session. So for today, we talk about 3 things. Right? Number 1 is about the individual mindset. Right? So please embed, right, the why not in your creative work and also in your client work. And secondly, right, think about collaboration with someone else. Right? It could be about collaborating with a new technology, a new software, a new producer, a new industry segment, or new types of client, etc., etc. And thirdly, is to think bigger. Right? It's not just about creative, right? But you are a growth partner to your clients. So with that, shall I stop my presentation right now and take some Q&A? So this is a 3I model, individual mindset, ideas, and infrastructure. Okay, so one more time, should I stop my presentation right now? Why not? Why not I stop right now? Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So now, pass the time back to you. Thank you.